Daniel Bryan's WWE contract has expired, according to multiple sources, including Fightful Select and Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So, Fightful Select reports that multiple sources in and outside of WWE have indicated that Bryan's WWE contract either expired last week or was set to expire last week following the loss to Roman Reigns. High-level sources noted that they heard of a contract expiring, but that Bryan had not spoken openly about his contract status, at least that they were aware of. So this opens up a few things. We heard rumblings that, Daniel Bryan was not leaving WWE. We knew that his contract expired at least this year because he re-signed back in 2018 for 3 years. But we didn't know if him leaving SmackDown in this match was just going to be him leaving SmackDown or him potentially leaving WWE. It's worth to note that, he has discussed leaving wrestling recently. He has discussed leaving the brand, leaving the sport entirely and focusing on his family. And that's one thing that he has been very adamant about. We know that he talked about his issues with his neck that are coming back to hurt him again. We know that he's talked about the fact that he wants to be there for his children. He wants to be there to carry his daughter on his shoulders. He wants to be there to see his kids graduate and be successful in life. So those are things that are important to him at this point in his career and his life. So I think when you take all of that in his contract expiring, maybe this is the end of Daniel Bryan, not just in WWE, but as a wrestler entirely. Because we know that Bryan is someone who is very clear about when he speaks and what he says. He speaks his mind very openly. He is not shied away from criticizing others. He's not shied away from opening up about his personal past, his demons, whatever. And he is essentially an open book that tells you the truth. So I am thinking that all of this was kind of like a ripple effect. Maybe he didn't like the WWE schedule. Maybe it was he wants to focus more time on family. And look, given that, fair play to him. He should be able to focus on his family. Daniel Bryan has given more than enough to the wrestling business. But this opens up the other question of what is Daniel Bryan going to do, and is he going to wrestle elsewhere? So another thing to note in multiple reports, WWE is still trying to get him locked down and re-signed. Like, they are trying very hard. Dave Meltzer reported that there's a lot of officials that are trying to contact him, making sure that he resigns. There's no word on, whether or not he will. There's literally nothing on that. But what we also know is that the WWE, they are not past, signing a wrestler just to sign a wrestler to keep him going from elsewhere, keep them going from elsewhere. So that might play into this. That and the money might play into this as well. But it also depends on what Bryan wants to do. If Bryan wants to go wrestle these other people, because he has discussed this as well recently, as well as his neck issues and injuries, he's discussed wanting to go wrestle Okada. He's discussed wanting to go wrestle Kenny Omega. He's discussed wanting to go wrestle all these people in other companies that are not WWE. So I think those could be a possibility. Like, if you're asking me for my personal guess, I would say that you're probably going to see him maybe scarcely one big run, or very scarcely for like these big programs. Otherwise, I don't see Daniel Bryan being a full-time wrestler ever again. And I think he's been open about that. I think he even said this a few years back, that his current contract with WWE was the end of him being a full-time wrestler. So we're going to have to see what happens there. I think that, regardless, though, I think fans should keep their ears on the news. They should be paying attention very closely for updates, because as we know in the wrestling business, when contracts expire, these things tend to happen fast, whether they're deals with other companies, whether it's, him potentially announcing his official retirement. That's to be seen, but let's see what happens. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.